Hey everyone, welcome back to the I Should Totally Be Dead Right Now podcast, where we tell true stories of survivors of true crime, natural disasters, and everything else in between. How's it going, Michelle?
It's good. Oh
Love it.
yeah. I'm singing already.
Because it's almost Thanksgiving.
It is almost Thanksgiving. Oh my God, Caitlin, what is happening?
The year's going by
Time,
quick.
it is going by quick. I've got like two cocktails in my hand. I'm drinking a lot. I'm feeling good.
Well, we do have a Thanksgiving drink. It is very tasty, very sweet. What is it, Michelle?
Okay, this is what was the name? It was like apple
A-
cider sparkler.
apple pie sparkler.
Apple pie sparkler,
Yeah.
excuse me. So it's really simple to make. It's just vanilla vodka, apple cider, and then some Moscato, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
Prosecco, or I think any kind of champagne that's a little bubbly
Yeah.
to go right on top. I think you're supposed to make a cinnamon sugar rim for the outside, which I did
Right.
not make.
I didn't either, but I did put some
A little graham cracker garnish.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Delicious. This is quite good. Actually, I wanted to make it to test it for Thanksgiving
Yeah.
to see if we could serve it. And I'm feeling like, yes, this actually might be really good in the punch bowl.
Yeah.
Uh, a little pre-Thanksgiving, cocktail to get the party started.
Mm-hmm. That was delicious.
Though I had a heck of a time, which I didn't even think would be an issue, finding apple cider, sparkling apple cider. Like not a thing in this
That's
town.
Ohio for you. Boo.
Yeah, they were like, what? There's some grape juice that's sparkling. And I bought that and I was like, no, I can't use it. So I bought some apple juice
There you
instead of
go.
apple cider. And it's quite delicious. And it's, of course, still sparkly from the Moscato.
Right.
So yum, yum.
The vanilla vodka and the Moscato and the apple cider, it really does taste like a pie. It's really
Mm.
sweet and you can taste the apple. It's very good.
Would you drink this on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
I
yeah,
probably would
goddamn
ha
right.
I probably would have it instead of dessert because it's very sweet.
Okay, you're
But
done.
I'm just saying it's very
You're
tasty.
drunk. This is last year all over again when you're like, I'm going to exercise after we eat. You're done. My God. I'm gonna have a drink
It's so
instead of
funny.
dessert.
I mean, I'm on my second one, okay? So I can't
I'm
say
telling your dad. I'm gonna
don't.
tell your dad. She's not gonna eat dessert.
No, I will, of course.
All right, all right. What's your favorite Thanksgiving dessert?
Thanksgiving dessert? Probably
Yeah,
pumpkin
like you
pie.
pumpkin pie or
Yeah.
we usually do a pumpkin pie and then like an apple pie or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. I usually
Yeah.
actually end up going for the apple pie.
I do like apple pie as well.
I'm
Both are
not a huge
winners.
fan of pumpkin.
Okay, well, you can fuck yourself, so.
I deserve that. I deserved it.
How do you not like pumpkin pie? What kind of basic white bitch are you?
I don't know. I mean, I like it, but I'm not gonna be like, I can't wait for that pumpkin pie. I have made pumpkin cheesecake before.
Ooh, see, that's delicious.
Now we're talking. That's delicious.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, let's jump into it.
All right. My story is about Victoria Cillers.
Victoria Cellars. Okay.
And she lives in the United Kingdom, and
All
she's a
right.
physiotherapist working for the Ministry of Defense and is a professional skydive instructor as well.
What?
I
Oh God.
know. She's
What is
hardcore.
what is she? A physiotherapist?
Yes.
What is that?
Don't
Well, I'm
I
gonna look
wasn't
it
ready
up.
for
Hold on
okay. I
for
mean,
your
I wasn't
stupid
ready.
questions.
I know I said it right. I just
Yeah,
didn't
you
look it
nailed
up.
it. They help restore movement and function when someone is affected by injury, illness, or disability.
Well, there you go.
So, all right.
So she has a husband named Emil,
Okay.
and he surprised her with skydiving trips since she has not gone in a year because she just delivered their second child.
Aw.
So he's like, "Here you go, girl. Like, go skydiving." So they have a little girl and now a little boy. Very cute.
Aw. Very cute.
Emil was supposed to join her in the jump, but no one could watch the kids, so he was there with the kids to watch her jump.
Oh, goodness. That's ominous. God.
So it's April 4th, 2015. This jump was going to be the deciding factor if she was going to continue on this career path or leave it behind because she is now kind of focused more on her family. So she doesn't know
Hmm.
if she's going to come back to instruct skydiving anymore.
Is I wonder if it's like skydiving's pretty dangerous, and now
Could
I have
be.
two small children. Do I want to be putting it at risk? Or it's like, nah, I don't know what I'm saying. Sorry about that last part.
No, that makes sense. But so she jumps and deploys her chute, but the lines are twisted. She
Ugh.
stays calm and actually maneuvered herself midair to untangle the lines. But she was not,
That's damn, that's
I
like
know.
cold. You're like, you got to be ready to
Yeah,
not panic. I guess.
exactly. So she was
I'd be
able
screaming and crying.
she was able to untangle the lines, but she was not slowing down enough. So she decided, I'm going to cut this line and deploy her emergency parachute. So she did that, but only half of it inflated, and now she's falling fast.
Oh my God. This
The
is terrifying. And her
jump,
husband or children below, can they
yeah,
see this whole thing?
I don't know. I think so. I think they were
Oh
there for
gosh.
it. But this jump was 4,000 feet high. So it was a pretty big jump. She tried to remain calm even though the ground was coming fast. She actually lands on a freshly plowed land that actually helped break her fall.
Oh,
She's actually conscious and she is just lying there in pain. They get her help and she has broken her pelvis, one leg, her collarbone, ribs, and she has a fractured spine, but she survives.
oh my gosh. I was thinking that doesn't seem so bad, but then you went into the spine. That does sound bad.
Oh, yeah. Luckily, though, she had no head injuries, no internal bleeding. It was the broken bones that she received. So that was
I,
very lucky.
yeah, that's incredibly lucky. I can't even I can't even imagine falling 4,000 feet, having a tiny little parachute deploy, and that's it.
Hmm.
And I can just imagine her like, woo, going down even
No,
further with this
right.
dumb little parachute and then not dying.
Yeah.
Like,
So
oh,
luckily, yeah, good job whoever plowed that land.
thank you.
But this is not where the story ends. So the parachute center decided to investigate because each parachute is checked by multiple well-trained individuals. So this shouldn't have happened. The
Oh, like the
investigation,
tangling should have never happened.
correct, and
Okay.
the emergency chute as well.
Oh, yeah, of course, because it's only partially inflated or
Hmm.
I guess deployed, maybe.
The investigation found out that her parachute was actually tampered with.
What?
Yeah. So police started to get involved, and Victoria did not want to waste people's time just in case nothing came of it. It could, again, just an accident. Someone just didn't check it right. But her husband encouraged her to get in
Murder.
contact with the police.
Oh my gosh. Ooh, my God.
So, as she's recovering with all her broken bones, she's surprised when arrest happens, and the arrest was her husband, Emmanuel,
I'm
right?
sorry. That was startling. I almost actually was like, it's the husband, but that's effed up.
No, it was Emil. So I'm gonna give you some backstory about the relationship. She meets him, he's 38 years old, and he's an instructor in the Royal Army Physical Training Corps. After 2 years of dating, they got married. After a year of being married, some suspicious things began to happen,
Hmm.
like money being taken out of her account and her husband denying it, saying that she's paranoid. He started to get a lot of debt and loans under his name, and he was just very bad with money. So bad, in fact, that Victoria did not put him in her will because she wanted to make sure that her two kids had some, were taken care of.
I
Yeah.
see. So skip dad and just make
Hmm.
sure the kids are taken care of.
But she
Mm.
also had £120,000 life insurance out on her name, and he was the beneficiary for that.
Oh, here it is.
She was bringing in extra cash with her skydiving instructing, but had to quit when she got pregnant with her second kid. But it was not only money issues, it was also he became distant and absent from the house. Victoria received screenshots of Emil asking inappropriate questions to their teenage babysitter. And I know.
Okay, so this guy is maybe just a dirtbag all over the place, it
Yeah,
sounds like.
absolutely. So again, he called her paranoid and just like, of course, I would never do that type of thing.
So, can I ask you a question? I
Yeah.
apologize. Is this what gaslighting is? Like,
Yeah.
no, that never happened. You're a crazy
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I'm
it's
never
also like,
totally sure.
yeah, it's also kind of like I tell you what you said, but it's not correct. So I make you feel crazy that, like I didn't say that. Like, yes, you did. And it's like, oh, you're gaslighting me to make me think I said this, even though I didn't.
I see. Okay. So it's kind of making you believe something that is completely not true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Caitlin.
That's a hot word right now.
Well, I was actually, it's funny because I was just thinking about that this morning.
Mhm.
Weirdly, I don't know why. And like, I don't really know the definition to that term and like fully understand it. And so now
Yeah.
it's a little bit more cleared up for me. Back
So,
to Victoria and her dirtbag husband.
yeah. So he was actually cheating on Victoria, and Victoria had suspected that because he's been so distant and absent from the house. But it was not with one woman, it was with two. One of
Mhm.
them was his ex-wife, and one of them was a woman he met on Tinder.
Okay, I'm done with this ever, effer, or
You
ever.
know,
My God.
his text messages to one of them said, "From April onwards, I can do random spontaneous. To be with you, I would do anything." And April 4th was when the
When
skydiving trip he planned.
he was like, dun, 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 here's this cool present. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna murder you at all.
But there was actually one other incident a week before the trip, and it was a close call. Victoria
Hmm.
was in their newly bought house and noticed the smell of gas in the kitchen. She
This
texted
guy
him.
is a piece of work. I'm sorry. God.
So she texted Emil about it, and he replied, "That's weird. Is the stove working?"
Maybe
And
try lighting a match and sees what happens.
she thought that was a bad joke and called for a gas man who discovered a loose valve. If she would have started the oven, her and her two kids probably would have died.
Yeah.
So the
Hmm.
police investigated that as well and discovered it was Emil who loosened the valve.
Yeah.
And they know this because investigators obtained his blood sample around the valve, and the marks on the valve can only be caused by loosening it and not tightening it. So since he was
Interesting.
yeah, and since he was watching the kids while she jumped, he took the parachute into the bathroom and tampered with it right before she jumped. So during the interrogation, he was very confident for being a cheating husband and suspect, but he admitted to the affairs, the debts, and being around the parachute gears. He states, "The worst part about today was that you arrested me in front of my subordinates." So he's
Are
just
those his children?
no, because he's the
Oh,
training
did he
guy.
get? I see. He got like arrested at work or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
So he has
Like
no
that's a weird way to describe your kids.
no, he has no remorse. He couldn't give a shit. He even texted one of the women saying he doesn't think that the little boy is his. Like he doesn't
Oh
he has
dear.
no care. That's just terrible.
Yeah.
So this happened in 2015, but he didn't go to trial until May of 2018. A jury convicted him of 2 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of endangering the lives of his 2 young children following a retrial at the Winchester Crown Court. So I guess there was a retrial, so that's why it was pushed, I guess. I didn't get any information about what happened at the first trial,
Interesting.
but he was sentenced to 18 years in prison.
Oh wow. Well, good. I mean, do I think it
Yeah.
should be more? Yeah, a little bit. Do
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to jail for 18 years if I try to murder someone? Probably not. But
No.
I guess I won't try to murder anyone. Whatever.
I'm glad that's what you took.
Is that all you took from this story?
Oh my gosh. No, but this is not done. It's not done.
Oh
Okay.
my goodness.
Well, so after a year, Victoria wanted him to sign divorce papers, and he wouldn't. He would not sign these papers.
God.
So she states, so 18 months on, I'm no further forward. I'm still married to him. I still have his name. I still feel shackled to him. I want to be able to move out of the house, to move on and restart my life completely, perhaps in another country. But I'm still here, living in the marital home, and there are memories of him at every turn, in the point of colors, the curtains, and the furniture we chose together. So he also, with having his last name, like he ruined her credit. He just kind of ruined her whole life.
Yeah, and she's looking for a fresh start and just can't get it.
Yeah, I mean, she has broken bones all over her body. She has to go through court, and it's just, it's too much.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But
Sorry,
three,
Victoria.
I
Ugh.
know. But 3 years after the incident, Victoria took her first skydiving jump with the support of her friends and family. So she got back into it.
I am shocked to hear that.
I
I
know,
gotta be
right?
honest. I'd be like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm out. I'm out. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
knowing that it was tampered with and it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
like a mistake that could have happened to anybody in a weird way, that's a little bit reassuring.
Right. Absolutely. But she also started to see someone new. They
Ooh,
actually have been friends for
uh,
about 8 years, and he was also a parachuter. So,
that's cool. Way
yeah.
to get back at it, Victoria. I'm assuming, of course,
Yeah.
she's still married.
Yeah. I'm not sure if he finally did. I think after a certain amount of years, I think the court will just make him
Just
sign
allow
it
it.
or just allow it. Yeah.
Yeah, because it seems like there should be some recourse for that. Like you don't
Hmm.
just have to stay married against your will forever.
Right. No, yeah. I think it depends on the state, though, of how long.
Mm.
Oh, no, not state. I'm sorry. They're in the UK. I don't know what their laws
And
are over there, actually.
yeah.
So, but she actually wrote a book called I Survived, a True Story that narrated her marriage and the events leading up to the attempted murder and trial. So that's
Mm.
interesting. Kind of get like how they met and kind of the maybe the slow red flags she started to see after they got married.
Well, and I imagine that he's very charismatic. I
Oh,
mean,
they
he
always
probably is
are.
quite, yeah, exactly. They're
Mm-hmm.
they're quite charming and, lure you in thinking that they're good people and then
Mm-hmm.
kabam, they're not at all.
No. But she's smart. I mean, like keeping him out of the will and all that
Well,
stuff.
she clearly knew something was up
Right.
with him. I mean, other than just being a little bit bad with money, it seems like it would take more than that to, I mean, I guess he was very, very bad with money, but it seems like it would take
Yeah.
more than that to like eliminate him from the will.
Right.
But
No, absolutely.
what do I know?
She's very lucky to survive a 4,000 foot drop. How disgusting to try, like,
Oh,
you tried to kill someone. You tried to kill supposed to be the love of your life. It's disgusting.
it's so funny is I was like this close and I've been thinking about it all afternoon about telling the story about a woman who almost was assassinated by it. Like her husband hired a killer to come kill her,
Uh-huh.
but I couldn't tell it because she wanted to stay with him and get back together. And I was like,
No.
nope,
What?
this doesn't have the ending I like. I'm censoring it
No. I
or
don't
I'll
think you
save
could
it for
change from
Valentine's
that.
Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, why would you ever want to stay married to someone who tried to murder you?
Yeah. No. No, thank you.
Do you know that movie? He's just not that into you.
Yeah,
Like,
seriously.
hmm, that one
Wow.
was probably for money too, if I recall correctly.
It usually
Um,
comes down to money, man.
yeah, it's a fast way to get a boatload of money that you would
Yeah,
probably never see otherwise.
it's true.
So
Sad day. But she
I
was
don't have
smart.
any life
What?
insurance on me, Caitlin, so don't even try it.
Okay, well, am I even a beneficiary?
No, even if
Okay,
I have it.
I think
Do
you're
you
safe.
know that you could take out a life insurance policy on me and never tell me?
Yeah, no, that's what I've heard have happened before. Wow, words are hard. I feel like we said
I
something
get
about a
it.
story about that.
Yeah, I feel like we've actually talked about this before.
All right. Well, but there we
Now I
go.
want
That's
to
a
go get
story.
a different story.
No, your
No, I'm
story's
just
gonna be
kidding.
great.
Yeah, I'll tell this one. It's about never mind. I'm not going to give any spoilers away.
All right.
Nice try. All right. Well, we're just going to jump right into it then. This story is about Sheri Niemegeers and her partner Gabe.
Okay.
And we're in May of 2018
Okay.
and up in Saskatchewan in British Columbia. Or
Nice.
I guess, oh God, I guess they're in Canada.
Okay.
There it is. She starts in oh my God, Saskatchewan, and she's driving to British Columbia. So
Okay.
I think she's on the eastern side of Canada and driving to the western side of Canada.
Sounds good.
Long story short. And they're probably like, bitch, Saskatchewan's like north. You're an idiot. Who knows?
We got the gist.
Yeah, you got it. Anyway, they're driving through Canada, and these guys had only been dating for 6 months, and this is their first road trip together.
Oh,
So,
cute.
ah, so they were, excited about the adventure. They felt like it was an adventure in many different ways, i.e., we're spending a lot of time, intense time together. So we'll see how that goes. And also, we're seeing the beautiful Canadian countryside together.
There we go.
Ah, so they were driving along the Crow's Nest Highway around 5:30 in the evening. And this is May, so it's light out. It's not like now
Okay.
where it's completely dark and you just want to kill yourself once five hits. So, but this Crow's Nest Highway is a steep and winding road that goes through the southern Canadian Rockies. So we're going through mountains, long story short. And so Sheri was kind of looking down, texting her mother, and she just happened to look up and she noticed in the middle of the road there was a tree. And she's like,
Oh.
the fuck? Why is there a tree standing in the middle of the road? What she realized a moment later is that that tree was actually being pushed by a torrent of mud that was gobbling up everything in its path.
Oh my gosh.
So Sheri and Gabe did not know about the recent flooding that had been in the area, and now they were in the thick of it. So Gabe and her sort of like look at each other and they're like, fuck. It
Hmm.
says, oh shoot, but I feel like that's not what they were. I feel like they probably were like, fuck, what are we
That's
going to
fair.
do? And they felt like that was the understatement of the century because within seconds, their car got overtaken by a giant mudslide and now they're somersaulting down the cliffside.
Oh my
So
gosh.
they end up somersaulting along with the mud and trees and everything else for 900 feet.
Oh
Yeah. And so they were unconscious for a while, and Sheri sort of comes to the sound of Gabe moaning in the seat next to her. And so he was slumped over the steering wheel, and she said there was his blood everywhere,
oh my
like all
gosh.
inside the car. And so the car, as it turned out, had landed on a very small ledge that was among all the trees and other crap that kind of came down with them. So everything sort of, well, not everything, but a chunk of things got sort of caught on this ledge, and their car was one of them.
Oh wow.
So they, on one side of them, they have the mountain, and then on the other side of them, there's this super steep drop that goes down to about 3,000 feet all the way down to a river.
Holy shit.
No, so it's not terrifying, like at all. So Sheri tries to open her door and she's overcome by excruciating pain. And what it turned out is she broke her sternum.
Oh my
So yeah,
gosh.
and also her left ankle had been crushed and her foot was like turned backwards. Like,
Ew.
yeah, it was turned in an unnatural way.
Oh
Poor
my
thing.
God.
She is feeling not good. And Gabe had clearly hit the steering wheel on the way
Uh-huh.
down because he had, as it turned out, broken nasal and cheekbones, as well as his orbital bones, leaving him blind in his left eye. And then part of his skull was crushed and his scalp was nearly ripped off.
Oh
So
my
that's
gosh.
probably where the majority of the blood had come from,
Right.
his scalp and just coming off.
Oh
Ugh.
my gosh.
So the passenger and driver's side doors were completely crushed in. And so
Okay.
opening the doors, even without the excruciating pain, was impossible.
Okay.
And Sheri's window, like you couldn't, it was impassable. It was so the only way that they could get out of the car was through the driver's side window.
Okay.
So neither of them actually remember getting out of the car, but they managed to do it.
Oh
They
wow.
managed to
Okay.
crawl through the window
Mm-hmm.
with all this awful,
Mud.
awful pain. They
Oh
probably were
yeah.
in crazy shock.
Oh, for sure.
So they managed to get themselves free. But now they sort of sat on a log and were like, what the fuck are we going to do? We are at,
Right.
we can't go down. It's 3,000 feet, a sheer wall of cliff. We can't climb up. It's 900 feet straight up. And she's got a broken ankle. And obviously, Gabe is in terrible
Right.
shape himself.
Ah, okay.
And they had no phone signal from being kind of so far from the road, I guess, and probably in the mountains as well. So we have Sheri and Gabe
Mm-hmm.
sitting on a log, probably feeling wildly hurt and wildly hopeless, with no phone signal, no nothing. And so they do all that they can do and they start calling for help. It's sort of a fool's hope that anyone would hear them, but someone did.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, four bystanders had actually spotted the car and were waiting towards them, like trying to make it
Oh
down that hill to get to them already.
my
And so
gosh.
they heard them yelling and were able to find them and get to them. So once our four bystanders, these four men arrived, two of them helped Gabe sort of shimmy up the hill. But poor Sheri had that terrible broken foot and
Right.
smashed ankle, so she had to be carried up. So the other two started to carry her, one under the armpits and the other one had her legs,
Oh,
and they were
okay.
slowly trying to make their way up this, steep hill. So, but it was tough going. What they would go sort of as far as they could until one of the men or both of them would sink into the mud. And so the two men who helped Gabe had to come back down. Sort of, they passed Sheri off to these two new fresh guys while the two other guys dislodged themselves from the mud. And then the two new guys would keep walking until they got stuck in the mud. And then they would have to pass her back off to the two original guys.
Oh, okay.
And so
Wow.
that just kept on going. It went on for about an hour. They
Whoa.
carried her, they would sink into the mud, they would hand her off, and then they would help pull the other person out of the mud. It was
That's crazy.
slow going. So by the time they reached the highway again, it was about 7. So all this started around 5:30. So it's only been like an hour and a half. Gabe is totally in shock, and he keeps slipping in and out of consciousness. And so as soon as the EMTs arrived, they let Sheri and Gabe kiss each other goodbye. Sheri
Oh,
thought it was probably the last that she would ever see him. She did not
oh
think
my
he was going to
gosh.
survive. I know. Oh, so they were able to kiss each other from their stretchers before loading them up into separate ambulances. And again, she just thought she'd never see her boyfriend again.
Yeah.
So they went to a nearby hospital, and Gabe ended up being airlifted to a trauma hospital that was 260 miles away.
Oh, wow.
And I guess along the way, they kept shocking him to keep him awake because they didn't want him to slip into a coma. I
Oh,
know, because he's had this terrible head
right.
injury.
They shock
Um,
him. Okay. I mean,
yeah,
whatever it takes, right?
I guess, yeah. So Gabe ended up being hospitalized for 6 weeks. He had surgeries to reattach his scalp, so that's good news. And Sheri ended up being released from the hospital 10 days after a surgeon was able to reconnect the main artery in her left foot. So she really did some damage on her
Yeah.
foot. Turns out she will walk with a limp for the rest of her life. And Gabe permanently lost the vision in his left eye. But other than that, they're fine. So, which
Really?
I know I can't even hardly believe. Before this all happened, they really considered themselves happy go lucky people. And oddly enough, the accident and the crazy rescue that was like a miracle sent from the
Yeah.
heaven made them even more positive. So they just
Oh,
kind of came away with an even brighter outlook on life. They were so grateful to be alive, and the experience really bonded them as a couple. And they have not stopped taking road trips. And in fact, a year later went back through the Crow's Nest Highway. They gave the finger to the mudslide on their way
nice.
by. Said, F you guys. No, they're
Oh,
awesome. That was my favorite part of the story is I can totally just imagine them just like flipping off the side of the
mm-hmm.
hill as they're going by. But they managed it. I don't know how.
That was just very lucky to fall that far and not go all the way to the, what, 3,000 foot drop. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I know they just got caught on that little tiny ledge, and that people saw them and went down to help them. I
Yeah,
mean,
that is amazing as well. Like how fast people found them. That's
yeah,
also
I
because
know. Even as I was reading, I was like, no one's fucking finding them.
mm-mm.
Have to like climb their way out of here, and she's gonna have to drag poor Gabe. But no, they were able to be dragged by other people.
That's
Yay!
lucky.
That is
Like I
lucky.
think Hugh probably would have bled out if it was too long, you think? Or just head
Probably.
wounds just bleed a lot anyways, but
Well, and I mean, he was just not in a good state. I mean, with
mm-hmm.
multiple fractures all over
Right.
his face and skull, and going in and out of consciousness. And yeah, he probably very easily could have died. I know it's always amazes me. I was in a pretty severe car accident when I was young. I think I've spoken of it before, but I ran into a tree. And
Mhm.
we were in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we probably could have walked for like 5 to 10 miles and reach something
Yeah.
eventually. But within probably 2 or 3 minutes of the accident, an ambulance drove by.
Wow,
And so
that's
they were able to stop and help us and do all the things that we needed done that otherwise we would have been like totally in trouble. So
that's the scary thing is when you need help and you found out like you're just alone. That's terrifying.
it is terrifying. Oh, did you read about the poor guy who fell into the uh, like molten iron?
What? No?
Yeah, Caterpillar worker, the big bulldozers and stuff,
Uh-huh.
Caterpillar brand. There was an employee there, and there was a giant vat of, melted iron that they were working with, or melted something. I think it was iron, and he fell in. He did not survive. He
Of
died instantly.
oh my gosh.
He was like a person and then melted nothing in like half a second.
His
Like,
body did melt?
yeah, everything, the bones, everything. It was, there was
Holy cow.
yeah, nothing left. And the company only got fined $145,000, like,
What?
because there was no guardrails around it. I
Oh,
don't, I would think
that's
there'd be
it?
guardrails everywhere and that they would be fined millions of dollars. But
Yeah. Like
I
his
mean, maybe
family
they'll have
didn't
to,
sue?
what's that?
His family didn't sue?
Oh, well, it just happened like yesterday or
Oh,
something.
really?
So
Oh, wow. Okay.
there's probably still time.
That's crazy. That's intense.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even, the most
That's
intense terror of your life for, a part of a second, and then you're gone. Oh,
that's really sad and scary.
no,
My
I'm
gosh.
sorry.
My goodness.
I shouldn't have brought it up because he didn't survive. This is a survival show,
Yeah, what kind
Michelle.
of podcast do you think we're running here, Michelle? My
I know, I'm
goodness.
sorry.
We don't
No, that
talk
was
like
just
that
crazy.
here.
I
That is
know.
crazy. That
I
is
won't bring it up
crazy.
again.
Well, dang. Well, those are very interesting stories.
Yeah, we have a dirt bag, and then they were getting out of dirt, so it all worked out.
Yeah, that's funny. That's good, actually. Maybe that's the
Nailed it.
title. They both happened in 2000. Oh no, he got sentenced in 2018. Didn't happen in 2018.
I know I
Whatever.
was all excited because I thought it was even like the same month, but no, May and April.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Rough. Well, he got
Spring and
sentenced in
summer.
May. He got sentenced in May of
There we go.
2018.
That's the spirit.
So while he was on trial, they crashed in a
Yeah,
mudslide.
almost plunged to their death, but didn't.
Scary. But didn't. Survived. Both of them.
Dun,
Still
dun.
together. Love story. There you go.
I know I should have saved it for Valentine's Day, damn it.
That's a little ways away, but
Think ahead, Michelle. Think ahead.
that's very ahead, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy
Or
Thanksgiving.
yeah. Thank you all for listening. We hope you have a safe and happy holiday, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Woo! Bye.